Her voice was soft, but sharp as a blade.
You people worship the Aeon Fire like starving kings, tearing your minds apart over who should control it. But the answer was always painfully simple. The only way to protect it is to free it.
Of all souls in this world, the Mistress understood one truth better than any other. The eternal Aeon Fire had never needed a master to save itself.
Once released, it will find its own ways to hide itself.
Her fingers traced the line of his jaw with impossible lightness. When her eyes met his, the world shrunk to the space between them. It was a gaze that unmade him.
You may not survive what comes next. Neither of us may. But some flames are worth dying for.
As she spoke, her gaze lingered on the sealed darkness below, her expression bearing the silent weight of an old mistake, one the world had long since learned to forget. But she never did. At the heart of the great hall, suspended beneath silken banners spanned from side to side, hung a golden birdcage. Silken banners cascaded from the ceiling, framing its massive form. But even through the drifting fabric, the fire within was impossible to look at directly. Inside, the Aeon Fire raged.
I cannot go further.
She spoke softly, almost a whisper, yet every word cut through the hall.
It would consume me.
A voice interrupted, sharp and urgent.
More bad news, kid. Something's going on up in Alkor.
The Mistress's head snapped toward the sound like a striking serpent, scarlet eyes blazing.
Who said that?
Before she could draw her moon claws to end Rhy Shen for good, a sudden tremor shook the Aeonhalls. Dust and tiny stones rained from above as a detonation ripped through the center of Alkor, echoing through the spiral hall. The Mistress looked at Rhy Shen with dead eyes.
Traitor. You led them here.
With every word, she split his fragile body into pieces. M whispered from Rhy Shen's ear as quietly as he could.
Sorry, kid. I had to warn her. If my suspicion is right, we only have minutes left until things spiral out of control. And to be honest, I don't know how to stop it from happening.
Oh, I know this voice. Do you hear me, old man? I will come for you next, after I handled the problem above.
Seconds later, the earth was shaken once more by violent detonations up on the surface. The Mistress looked up and narrowed her eyes into slits of pure hatred. An open assault on the holy city of Alkor could only mean one thing: that an old friend had arrived, long since soured by bitterness.
You, fragile human. You and the old man in your head. How could you lead this devil here?
Her inner core ignited, concentrated power surging through her frame. She was ready for combat. Rhy Shen could barely see anything through his slashed body parts. The Aeon Fire's storm in the cage raged unchecked, the chains rattling like a drum of doom. Before Rhy Shen could pull himself together, a cold aura approached within the heat of the halls. Someone descended the curved hallway. The force behind it was immense. Every shadow was lured toward the unseen presence as the footsteps grew louder and heavier. The air screamed before the figure ever came into view. A horde of crippled demons hurled themselves wildly down the stairs, their broken bodies crashing and tumbling ahead of their master like a grim announcement. Their shadows clawed at the walls. Dust spiraled upward. Debris rained from the ceiling in a chaotic hail of stone and shells. Rhy Shen would never forget that face. Divine youth beneath silk-white hair. Cold as sculpted stone, a smile carved from pure cruelty. Every cell of his body radiated power, the kind that could end worlds with a single thought. In that instant, the hall seemed smaller. The pillars started bending inward, and the cage with the Aeon fire in it rattled and whistled.
A pleasure, Mistress.
Armath Orson had arrived, flanked by his legions from the underworld. He bowed lightly, almost theatrically, his smile sharp and calm.
My dear, I've been searching for you, and for your cozy little refuge here, for a very long time. Truly, a very long time.
The mistress looked away, her eyes flicking to the floor for the briefest moment. A gesture almost human, but loaded with memory. There was history here. Unspoken and bitter. The kind that had shaped battles, broken alliances, and carved scars neither of them would ever forget.
You will only claim the Aeon fire over my dead body, Armath.
Your corpse will do.
His grin remained perfectly still, a mask of merciless calm. The Aeon fire flared, the cage shuddered, and the air hummed with the promise of violence.